Make sense?
For just the ambulance service?
Just the ambulance. There's really nothing else of any consequence. If we got a little bit of time, we may just, open it up and round table whatever we may or may not have. But I'll wait on Brian before we call this to an official order. Linda, I think I sent you a copy of the one for Maury County.
Yep.
I didn't have her make copies. I'm going to email everybody else that.
Yeah, that appears, when I checked with CTAS a couple months ago, that seemed to be the gold standard.
Of what Maury County did.
Yeah.
So we need to mesh that, and I haven't, because I just got this in the other day from, Keith, who I guess this thing came originally from Gary Hayes, who helped put all this stuff together, as the county advisor. So really what we need to do is to take what Maury County's got, what's on that RFP draft that's put out there, plus anything else we want to start requiring that we find, and then mesh all that together. I'd like to have that done really no later than probably mid-January. I would say no later than the first or second week of January, just so we can put that out to a commission. Even if, I'm not even sure if we have to put that out for a full commission vote.
The guy also that we probably ought to run it through at CTAS is, they have an ambulance guy up there, an ambulance expert. Mark Alley, it's the same guy that does the fire department. So, because there's some stuff in there that's technical. They must have some standard how they determine how many ambulances per your area and population and all that. But that's all stuff that he can probably just, tell us what those numbers are.
Well, some of the stuff that is out there with the ambulance, as far as that goes, a lot of it has to do with population, terrain, the amount of services that are there. There's a lot that goes into that.
So rather than us looking all that stuff up, spend a lot of time doing that.
Oh yeah, anything we can send off to somebody else to take care of would be absolutely. I'm gonna get down to the end of this and make some notes.
You say his last name is Allen or Allen?
Alley.
Hey buddy, how are you?
What is today, the 17th?
Monday, 11.
Yeah, it's M-A-R-C, is not K, A-L-L-E-Y.
Thank you.
The main meeting is at 6:30. This one is starting at 4, but like I said, I'm gonna wait on Brian to get up here with that because I want him to be part of this discussion.
It's 3 days like you
That's been pretty. It's like it's getting dark.
I'm sure they're going to tell you that. Okay, so I guess we got to do that.
Now, why don't you? Well, I don't know. I want you to take notes on that. Oh, there he is. There's my
There's your
secretary.
secretary. Your secretary.
There's my secretary right there with the copies.
We pass them out?
Yes, go ahead and pass them out.
One tree. Two trees.
I don't need trees, fortunately.
Okay, help me mark one up as you guys work.
Yeah, we can if you'd like. All right, so it is 6 minutes after 4 o'clock. We'll call a meeting to order for the Emergency Services Committee meeting. The focus of tonight's meeting is to discuss the ambulance service contract. As we know, that is coming to an end June 30th of next year, at the end of this fiscal year, and we must do a new contract. The laws are somewhat ambiguous, but most people seem to believe that we do need to put an RFP out for an ambulance service to give other companies a chance to bid on that, which I believe is a good idea, just to see what else is out there in the marketplace and keep everybody honest, make sure that we're getting a good deal for the money that we're spending. As it stands now, we're spending about $262,000 a year as a stipend to have Puckett Ambulance Service here, who's been here since 2014. They currently occupy a portion of the medical building that we own, that Erlanger is also running an emergency room in on the north side of town. We are anticipating that continuing. There's nothing that looks like that's going to change, although we might want to put a provision within a final contract that gives us the option to move them to a different suitable location within the county or within the immediate area. Should Erlanger decide they want to expand or do something, or they need that space for emergency operations. We don't know what the future is going to hold, just because this county is growing and is growing pretty rapidly still. So we would like to at least keep our options open. Last time we did this for a 5-year contract with 2 1-year options to renew. The last 2 years, we've exercised now our second option to renew on that. So we've had a total of 7 years come June 30th of next year on this contract. So we will have to do something with that this year. We knew that going into it last year, but with the uncertainty with the hospital back in the spring, we decided to take our second option year and kick that can down the road 1 more year. Well, now we have to do something about that. So before you've got a sample or a draft RFP that came out from Gary Hayes, who put that together for us as our county advisor. He put a lot of suggestions in there, and I've also got a copy of Maury County's I'm going to email out to you. I meant to bring that to copy today, and I didn't do it. I didn't save it for whatever reason, but I will get that out to you as well, so you can have something to reference what another county had gone through, maybe give you some ideas. So the main thing we want to do this evening is discuss ambulance services, where we are with that, what we're currently doing with the ambulance service, what we like about it, what we don't like about it, what we might see that needs to be changed about that. As usual, I like to run meetings as an open forum meeting, which means I give deference to people in the audience who might want to join in to the conversation and offer suggestions and comments in a polite manner, and we will always do that within this committee as well. So I like to have it more as a roundtable discussion. So with that, I will open it up and ask the group here what it is. We know the service that's out there now. What do we feel they're doing right? What do we think they're doing right in this case that we want to continue on, that we want to maybe expand on and encourage?
Their community involvement.
Okay. So we have community involvement.
Are there extra copies of the committee materials available?
Yes, actually, I think there's a couple extra copies if you guys want them. I think there's 3 or 2.
I mean, also there's support for our fire department
The only one with the
First responder support.
That was just one.
well, I shouldn't say with them being
Sure.
the only ones with the medical side of it, that they're with all of us. It's just, first responder support. Because normally they'll sit on the fire with the saw.
I can look at it later.
So,
I'll just work off Jess.
they do, what do they supply us on first responders? So what are we currently getting from Puckett is support for first responders?
I mean, whenever we're out of gloves, bandages, they exchange our O2 bottles. With the exception of the high dollar equipment like, I can't remember what it's called.
AED defibrillator.
The AED defibrillator and the compression.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it. Aside from that, they supply us with just about anything we ask for, and with the high dollar items, they try to, if we have to purchase it, they try to get us the best price they can for us.
Okay. So first responder support. Have they been part of doing any of the Narcan that's out there, or any of the training that goes with that, or?
Most of the time, that's the group out of Hamilton County that comes and does the Narcan training.
Okay, so nothing with that. What about AEDs? Were they part of any supply of AEDs that we?
If I ask for pads, they give me pads.
Okay. Because we had, what was it, a few years ago, we went through and supplied, we bought a bunch of AEDs to go for sheriff's vehicles and things like that, and I assume we bought those from Puckett as well. No, we did not.
They gave me the best price to go and purchase, and that's what we done.
Okay.
And the thing too, we try to, those that went into the sheriff's vehicles, we tried to get the same ones that Puckett had, so if they needed an extra set of pads or whatever, that they had them readily available for the sheriff's department.
Okay, and they willingly done that?
They also do CPR classes.
And those pads aren't cheap.
No.
No. They've also hosted and supplied CPR classes.
No charge.
You can expand that from CPR classes all the way to the
First responder.
first responder
EMR.
EMR classes.
Explain to me how that operates. I mean, you're involved in that, Wayne. I have kind of lost track of what's going on with those.
What do you mean?
As far as, you know, they've hosted these, are you saying they went through and provided the training for the first responders, or?
They haven't us, but they have put the EMR training out there. And then they also offer support for those that are doing like in-house training as well.
I took the EMR class through Puckett.
And they do this at no charge?
Mm-hmm.
Dang. Okay, what else?
I mean, I don't know why I'm the only one talking, but
You know the most.
You know the most.
with them, if we have a need in the county, I mean, they will do everything they can for that need. And when I say a need in the county, an extra truck, and even in a high populated event, and I'll use the 4th of July parade as an instance, there's trucks stationed all around the county if they're needed.
And then they bring in the supervisor's vehicle.
The supervisor vehicle runs response.
Yeah, the third. So whatever they've been asked to do,
They find a way to do it.
they find a way to, yeah. And there's not been a whole lot of pushback from anything.
Okay, so I put support with extra personnel for larger events such as the 4th of July.
Valley Fest.
Yeah, Valley Fest, I'll go on to that. And we can always add to this list. What else? Anybody else got anything?
I mean, they do their dead level best to be quick on the response times. I mean, understandably, there are situations that prohibit it, but for the most part, they've done a real good job about, a lot of times they've made it to a scene before we can make it to a scene.
Okay.
So, I mean, they're,
Because I think right now we're at a 15 urban, 25 rural contracted response time, or is that 15 and 20? I know there's some time differences on that to be for listed of urban or rural. Joe, do you know the answer to that question?
Not right off, I've got the contract right here.
I'm betting the rural is longer.
Do what now?
I'm betting the rural response is the longer of the.
Well, yes, I would bet you're probably right.
I can't remember what the times are.
I think it's 15 and 20 or 15 and 25.
It's in the old contract.
It's in the old contract.
I mean, like I said, for the most part though, their response time is pretty good. And if they're not there before we get there, they're right on our heels, so.
Mm-hmm. So you feel like the equipment that they have available to us is adequate to serve?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Do we know what our current equipment status is? What we have here on a daily basis, in terms of personnel and ambulances?
Ask the man over there.
Hey Jeff, to answer your last question, 13 and 20.
13 and 20 minutes. Okay.
There's
And they
statistics
are
on
meeting the contracted.
Do you have a question on the equipment?
Yes. What do you currently have stationed here?
We have 2 trucks and a supervisor vehicle as well. That's 24 hours a day. We do supply support out of Chattanooga. Most of the time, though, it is on the inter-facility side. They will do 911 when our levels get low.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Joe, you need to make it clear where that truck out of Hamilton County is coming from too.
Say it again. Well, most of the support does come from our Saudi truck. We put a new station there in Saudi off of Harrison Lane.
Okay. So that's just, by ambulance speak, that's what, about a 15-minute drive, 10, 12-minute drive, depending on how fast you can go?
About 15 minutes. It does a lot more on the Lewis Chapel area as well.
Okay, so that
If they
one's supporting
respond.
Lewis Chapel as well. Have you guys done any talks with it? I mean, I realize you're in Marion and Hamilton counties doing those, Soddy Daisy and with Marion County area. Have you had any discussions with any other counties in the area about offering your services to them as well?
We've had some reach out, but a lot of time it's just support or mutual aid,
Okay.
but not to take over for 911 or anything of that matter.
And you guys, how much mutual aid do we get out of Bledsoe County for this area?
It's minimal, is it not, Joe?
I would say it's rare, but I would say it does. If it happens, it's kind of mutually. They'll do one in our area, they'll probably end up doing one in their area.
It's
Their
minimal.
area or ours there. So we just provided support the last few days out there, but it's pretty rare.
Okay. So it's rare that you're providing mutual support to them as well?
That's correct.
Okay. I was just curious about how many cross-border, I mean, I know it's county lines, what, 3.5, 4 miles north of us here, so then, a lot of our communities, sometimes you really can't even tell which county, which part of the county or which county that they're in. So it was kind of a curiosity question more for me.
Joe, those response times, who determines that? Is there some sort of,
That was contractual.
well, national or state standard though? Is there a standard that, for geographical region, or like what determines those response times?
It really comes. Oh, go ahead.
Most of the time, it's by the national standard,
Okay,
and they break it down by the rural, super rural, and urban.
okay.
So do you know what that national standard is for urban rural?
Right off?
Yeah, no.
No, I can,
Hang on, I'll Google it for you.
I think that's in here, I saw it somewhere. They
On
cited
you,
it.
Diana.
Do you know what proportion of your calls meet the standard?
yes, sir. It's around 90, we're about 92%.
Yeah,
less
here it
than
is,
compliance
NFPA
report. And it's for
1710.
both categories.
All right, averages around 7 to 9 minutes overall, particularly under 10 minutes in urban areas and over 15 minutes in rural areas. Typical response times by areas generally 8 to 10 minutes, suburban 10 to 12, and rural 15 minutes or more. But you're saying 92% of your responses meet.
That's correct.
Meet or exceed.
Anything else, Rip?
Okay, still under the good side. Anybody else? If you could send a piece of paper around, I'm gonna have her send a piece of paper around, sign in, put a name and a email address if you would, because I'm gonna click all these notes over to you guys too as I take them, or as I finish up today, so you can have all of that as well.
If I heard correctly, what I was hearing, was there's an informality to their operation that is agreeable. It's
Okay.
not bureaucratic, it's not structured what they will or won't do, that they are
Right.
responsive.
Well, it's, a lot of it just depends on geography and terrain that's out there. I mean, we are in a very unique
Wait,
situation in this county.
are you meaning our working relationship with?
Yeah.
Yes, I mean,
Okay.
they come to
Sorry.
us with questions and answers, and we go to them with questions and answers, and normally it can be resolved in less than a day of what we need or what they need. So.
If you were trying to put that in an RFP, that's what I don't know what to
That-
say. You
I
know,
don't-
it's kind of an informal working relationship.
Well, and I mean,
Responsive, I don't
that relationship has been built since, what'd you say, 2014?
2014.
Since 2014, so.
It's something valuable that I don't know how you put it in an RFP, but you sure don't want to lose it.
Correct.
Exactly. So, I mean, it's one of those things that there are certain things that we could add, you know, to an RFP. Are you going to provide, or somebody could respond and say, in addition to these services, we also provide community involvement, this and this and this way. We'll also provide first responder support by, you know, supplying these, you know, consumable supplies that they go through. I mean, the bottom line is, and one of the things that they did that Puckett did in the very beginning was to tell me that saving lives was the #1 priority. How we did it and who got credit for it was really was not one of their main goals. And if they could train up first responder groups, such as what the program was done on Signal Mountain, that if they could train first responder groups, it would only help the situation. It would help them. It would help us as well. And if you've got somebody who can get there 5 minutes sooner, 5 minutes in a heart attack means the difference between life and death. And somebody who's trained to help or trained to use an AED or has that piece of equipment available can make the difference just every day it goes through. Well, we have no idea how many lives potentially have been saved, you know, across this county or across other areas where ambulance services have been that way. So that's one of the things that's impressed me over the years. You know I've bought an AED or two off of them over the years, and they've been very good to find those things and sell it back to us at cost, just to keep it, just to keep us there. Because again, the higher number of these things we have in circulation out there, the better chance they are to get in front of somebody to help save that life. So those I would put also in the good category. All right, who else got anything for good? What else is are we happy about with this ambulance service now? That's what we're talking about. She's smiling. She's got to say something. Go ahead.
No, I'm good.
No.
I
We're
just
gonna put you
feel
on the-
lost.
She-
You got another copy of that draft, or is there?
She's on meds.
No, I'm not.
Here,
Here you go, Trevor.
You need to shake them around.
All right, so nothing else on that. What do we see that needs improvement? Or as I put in the wrong category. Actually, I should rename that. It needs improvement.
I got one somewhere. Nick Hope.
Nick Hope.
Holt. He's back there now.
He needs improvement?
Yeah.
I know some good doctors, but I don't know that I know.
It wouldn't help him.
I don't think it'd help him. I mean, even the best shrinks in the world is probably not gonna help him out.
The only thing I ever hear about from our folks up there on the mountain is rates.
Okay.
They always complain about the rates. I think it's based on level of care and not necessarily, you know, how far.
Okay, so rates are based on level of care versus, can you explain that, Joe?
So whenever we bill it, we either can bill a BLS or ALS rate, but they're pretty similar in nature
And those two terms are what?
within
Basic life support and advanced
basic life support and advanced life support. So if it requires a lot of, you know, doing an EKG along with a lot more ALS assessments versus more like basic level care. And the way our contract is written and all of our 911 responses is with an ALS unit. So even if we're providing an ALS level of care, if the patient didn't need that care, you know, it's BLS, we have to bill it at a BLS rate, even though the ALS was utilized.
And how do you deal with indigent care?
We have to eat it if they don't pay. I mean, we end up writing it off, and that's part of what we can use as tax write-off in the end. But if they cannot pay, we can set up monthly payments as well.
So I know the emergency room discussions talked about 200% of federal poverty level versus 400% of poverty level were offered exemption from cost. Do you have anything formal like that, or is it just?
We do, and we mirror what the hospitals do. So if they get with us and say the hospital provided X discount to them, if they supply that to us, we match it.
Okay.
But you don't have an independent policy other than matching what the hospital they were sent to does?
We do have an internal policy of the max. If they call us, the max we're able to get them a discount if they don't have any type of insurance.
So I'm not familiar with how that actually works, mainly because I've never been through it, fortunately, and I hope to never be through it. But as far as you go down the road and you get in a wreck down the road, and of course there's a 2 or 3 vehicle pileup, so a couple of ambulances are dispatched to that, and you say you dispatch as a matter of course an advanced life support ambulance, and you get down there and you got one guy who's missing 2 arms and bleeding out on the road, and another guy's got a scratch. So you're going to provide the advanced life support and bill the advanced life support to the critical guy, but you, for the scratch on that, you may either do no service and get no compensation for that, or you would do just a basic, we'll put a Band-Aid on that, and you would charge for a basic level of service. That's how that's
It's
operated.
based on, when we transport, our crews don't even see it. On the backside, they look at the total number of assessments and other ALS or BLS that's performed, and that's when the billing department says what category it goes in.
Okay, so they have no idea even how that's gonna.
So technically, it's not the boots on the ground that makes that decision.
Yep, it's only on the back end when it goes to billing, their assessments.
So, okay, say for that case, I got billed a bunch of money for a Band-Aid. Is there a recourse to go back and say, I don't agree with that charge? You know, that would say that.
And what is that recourse?
Yeah, and that's the next question. What is that recourse?
Pick up the phone and call.
Yes, they call us. A lot of times it's something I can help, sometimes it's something I have to escalate to billing. Because again, there are so many different standards, there's so many, insurance loves to deny, especially with ambulance services. They love to deny claims, and that's one of those we try to work with the patient and get them resolved. A lot of times it's, if you have 2 insurances, the one doesn't want to pay because the other one didn't pay.
Right. You know, and, you know, of course, in my situation, I've got, you know, pretty good insurance, but it's got an exceedingly stupid high deductible of $11,000. So it is, until I burn through $11,000 worth of services somewhere, I don't have anything covered. And that's kind of by design. I figure I can survive an $11,000 problem. But just in curiosity and how that goes, just a poor stat gets down here and has a wreck, as to how that was billed out to them. I think that goes back to Linda's response to that, and the constituents we hear is, is there a way to make that more transparent?
We could, and really anybody could, but there would be a bunch of different parameters when it comes to cost.
Mm-hmm. Medical billing is one of those things I've never been able to wrap my head around and understand it. Because it changes every time the wind blows.
And it's working.
Do what?
Then it's working.
Yeah, well, I think that's the whole point, is they want that to do. I would much prefer to see a much more simplified way of billing. But it seems like everything, you go into a hospital, that everything you touch or do just by turning right or left, and the main entrance determines a different billing code that's billed in a different, just billed in a different way. And if we're talking about doing healthcare reform, that is one of the things I think that needs to be a lot more transparent, but that's a whole other subject. All right, what else needs improvement on this? Anything else that we can see?
There's something new in here, but it's, since we started this opioid stuff, it's in here, I see it in here though, that we're requiring, or we're asking for quarterly overdose reports, but that's in here, I see they added it.
Okay, I'm gonna put that on what we want.
It's already there.
It's there, it's page 3, number 13.
Okay.
So it's been added. And then I think, on page 2, it talks about, where's page 1? Okay, so page 2, I think we need an interlocal agreement. I can't remember where I read that because of the city.
Interlocal
Agreement with the city to provide the service to the city. I believe so. I'm not sure. That might be something like that.
Page 2, number 4 says the city of Dunlap. I'm not sure if that's
Right, but I think it requires, in addition of this, that we, the county, need, I think, an interlocal agreement. It's not something we would require of the ambulance service, but I'm thinking just as we're going through all this paperwork here.
Right.
The thing about that is though,
City doesn't pay
city
anything.
is county taxpayers also, so I don't know how that works.
And currently, the city doesn't pay anything separate for 911 or dispatching or
They-
anything like, well, but
Leave
that's different.
911 out, because
Right.
that's a completely different ballgame right there.
But this is a county contract which covers the city, right, Russ?
Yes, because the county and the city is county taxpayers, therefore it covers the whole, it's not taking out the city, it
Right.
covers the whole county.
Page 3, number 10, the proposer must comply with all city of Dunlap and county emergency management plans as adopted by the city of Dunlap and Sequatchie County.
Basically, that's our BEOPs.
Right, but that's, I think we still need to check, because I think.
Yeah, I think we need to
Yeah.
check on this.
Yeah, it won't hurt to, but I think that's how that got around that, is because the city people are also county taxpayers.
Because you're right. Because the city, as part of their charter, does not provide medical service.
Right.
Just as they don't provide a jail, they don't provide a lot of other things. I mean, I think basically to have a city, there's certain services you have to provide, or there's a certain number of services you have to provide. Trash pickup, police service, things of that nature they're doing. But I don't think medical response is within their scope, nor is education, even.
No, it's in
so-
the counties, because that's.
So it all goes by the county, so we may or may not have to do anything, but it's a good thing to check on, just to make sure but that's a procedural thing on our
It
side.
was in the old contract. I remember seeing it there, and I don't know, it may have changed since then, but we can at least ask the question, because that would be another document. Not RFP, but just something that.
Really, that would be the
Yeah.
other document with that.
Do they currently provide quarterly reports on calls Is there any data flow that comes out routinely?
We set it the first of every month. That's what I was pulling up a second ago. So it provides our response time and our percentage. And so for October, for urban, the goal is 13 minutes. We averaged 9. And then for the rural, the goal is 20. We averaged 15.
And are responses more or less random through the year, or do they focus on holidays, or is there any analysis of frequency and distribution?
We will do demand analysis to check for that kind of like algorithm, but usually it rarely fluctuates unless there's extreme weather. But we do keep up with it every month and why it has any type of variance. And also 12% of mutual aid for October.
12% of mutual aid.
Which means 12% of the 911 calls were with other resources outside of Sequatchie County.
So it came into the county to support
Correct.
you?
For a 911 call.
So that would be where Bledsoe or Grundy or somebody would come into play?
Or our unit from Saudi Daisy, because it's not considered Sequatchie.
Or, okay, and I'm definitely curious as to how that went. Because obviously servicing kind of Saudi Lewis Chapel is almost as fast as servicing them from
This side, depending on.
this side, especially depending on where they're at. If they're especially close to the county line, it's just as fast to bring something, if not faster, to bring them up out of Saudi Daisy.
Well, and between the 42 trucks and logistics, we could have been dropping somebody off and they're just the closest unit as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. Now, all of your dispatching is still done at Austell, is it not?
No, sir, it's done at our primary station,
Where is that at now?
Russell Boulevard.
Russell Boulevard.
Okay, so everything comes out of Chattanooga now. So when a call comes in to 911, it goes to this, it is, and the 911 dispatcher answers that, and it's a medical call.
We get bare minimum information, and then it's automatically forwarded to Puckett with that bare minimum information, and Puckett gathers the rest and dispatches.
So she would hit a button and say, we're transferring you, we'd say to the, so if I called and would say.
We ask the person on the other line to please, the line's gonna go silent for a moment, and you'll be connected to a Puckett operator within seconds.
Okay.
But the only dispatch you do is when you dispatch like us out.
Correct. And that's the thing, in that time frame that it's being transferred to Puckett, we're toning them out to go at that time. So,
Okay, so you're serving both calls, but in this case, you're sending the medical calls to Puckett, who would then gather whatever information they could while dispatching on their side.
correct.
Okay. How has that been working out?
Lately, very well.
Okay. Okay, so I've got a list of things that I need to get out to everybody. An email copy of the RFP for the one you have printed. Also an email copy of the Maury County's RFP. I'll send that out. And a copy of the current contract with Puckett. What else do we need to see?
Is there any conflict or gap between county equipment and Puckett equipment in terms of radio, anything of that sort?
Not to my knowledge anymore.
I don't understand the question.
Explain that.
So I've noted there have been occasions where emergency response has said, we're on this frequency, but the other guys are on this frequency. And so there's a major delay in communicating with each other. Are there any radio frequency equipment gaps that exist within the county relative to communicating with Puckett in a timely manner?
Yeah, the people on scene do not communicate with Puckett. The only thing that happens if something happens there, they radio dispatch. Dispatch gives that information to Puckett's dispatch. Then it's forwarded to them while they're en route to the scene.
And are there gaps within the county wherein they might not receive?
You're talking about dead zones?
Yeah. Sure.
Now, I can't answer that with Puckett. I don't know what radio system they're on right now.
So we have 700, 800 digital, VHF, UHF, and AT&T and Verizon. So we cover all the bases. On the,
And so you have no dead zones within the county?
oh, no, I mean, we absolutely do.
This
Just
kid-
anywhere here.
God created a major land disruption here, so yes, we have all kinds of,
Especially
Everybody
around
has
the
a dead
mountains
zone
and-
here.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, we're not in
So-
Kansas where everything is flat and a radio signal is gonna travel everywhere you wanna go.
And how do you deal with those dead zones?
Just move through the years then.
I mean, I would say they're very infrequent, but it's one of those, our guys know where a lot of those areas are gonna be, and they communicate, beforehand, let know ETAs and what
Okay.
have you.
and with us, they may be somebody leaving the scene to go somewhere where they can get communications.
But it would be the same with any of the sheriff's office.
Yes.
Right.
Or
That's an
anywhere.
unknown variable for everybody.
I mean, just given the typical terrain around here, it's almost impossible to cover every little spot in here.
Yeah, I guess where I was headed was if there's something like an 8% failure to perform within that time of, what is it, 12 versus 20 or 9 versus 20, urban,
Right.
rural, to what degree are dead zones at all responsible for a less than 100% response rate within those timeframes?
I don't think it did something, I mean, if that's gonna it.
No response, it shouldn't, a dead zone shouldn't have an effect on response.
Okay.
Yeah, it would. And
Then-
it's also ABL, like it's all tracked. All the ambulances are tracked automatic.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so those 3 items I need to get out to everyone. What else? Is there anything else that you would like to see sent forward that would help put this? Because the next task I'm going to give everyone is we're going to decide on what our next meeting schedule needs to be. A timeline for finalizing this RFP and getting out, and the deadline for having the information back. I would seek to have all this back to us somewhere in early March, just so we could put that out, make a decision in March, just to let anybody, if we decide to keep Puckett, that's one thing. If we decide to go with a different company, then it would obviously be beneficial that they have a 2 or 3 month heads up just to get assets in place and do planning. How to get that done as well. So I would like to have this out
What's the deadline on this current extension? When is it?
June 30th.
Okay.
We have until the end of the fiscal year, so you're 7 months away from that.
Susan, you said earlier that you wanted this to be able to go out in January?
I would like everything back. I would like to have the RFP go out sometime in January and then have all the responses back by March 1st. That gives us a chance to meet as a committee, decide what we want to recommend to the full commission, and then send it that way. March 1, somewhere around March 1, whatever day of the week that is. Sure, go ahead.
Since we bought property for the emergency services, try to build a building for them, on place, have we tried to work with them or anybody to see what we could do to maybe see what we could in property to make it work?
Right now, we're just leaving the emergencies, the ambulance service within the building that we're in at Erlanger. There's no reason to change. Building to put an ambulance service in. We bought property over there having a reserve for future use. So we're not really, in my opinion, there's no need to make a change where one is not necessary. But we have at least options now to do something with, whereas we didn't before.
I think we need to
Take a look at it.
discuss
so
it in one of these
it's not
meetings, like, one of the things that complicated the emergency room RFP was not having that 5,000 square feet, when it was gonna be available, if it was gonna be available. The plan that I understood is to move, we bought that Williams property and moved the ambulance service there so the hospital can expand. Now, yes, we have an agreement now with Erlanger, but we also have an opportunity after a year to give them notice. And then also, because we're grown, we need more services than what they're already providing, especially in the primary care. So if we're gonna, if we're gonna utilize that Williams property for, what we said we were gonna do with it, then that really ought to be written into this.
Well, I mean, we could entertain the idea of just going ahead and saying that we have an intent to move because we've got another building over there that would suffice for that. I mean, if we did that, I would like to make sure that we put together a suitable shelter for those ambulances when they're parked. And for people to get in and out, I would like to make sure.
Well, I think that would be up to the proposer how they want to do that, to see how they want to handle that.
I got a question. Is that road up for being rezoned, Williams Road?
I have no idea what
it is.
According to the mayor, he wants to put a dead end there on that road and split that road.
To do with, or if we were to have to move the ambulance service or put anything over there to.
Every property owner on that road.
And I think that you would have to have permission from every property owner on that road to do it. And since we own as a county property on that road, I would see no benefit to us supporting cutting that road in half to stop flow through traffic. It's a major thoroughfare, and if you're talking about putting an ambulance service, there is absolutely zero reason I want that ambulance going out to Rankin Avenue and then to Fredonia to come up. Our mountain would lose 2 to 3 minutes worth of response time as a result of that.
Is that, Brian, correct me if I'm wrong, was that up for its third reading?
I think they approved it at the last one, to be honest, but it was approval for those homes to be built on that property. It wasn't changing the zoning of anything but that property.
Right.
Because every property owner has to sign off.
I think they just approved for those patio homes to go into that area they bought behind Walmart.
I thought it was a changing of the road from high density to low density or something. I don't know.
They're putting in as many patio homes as they're talking about. It'll be high density.
Just something I thought about.
And now I'm going to have to go look up what the definition of a patio home is because I have no clue. So Keith, do you know an answer to that? I know Dwayne was talking at one time about wanting to put a cul-de-sac there on Williams Road and cut it off to where it could not be a thoroughfare through there. But
talking about that near Tram Trail, but I think they've gotten quite the kickback, and I don't think that's.
I don't think they could do that without our permission just because we own property on that road.
Well,
There you go.
just for emergency services sake, that would be crazy to do, in my view, but.
Right. I mean, that's nuts. I mean, imagine these ambulances because that Williams Road is part of our, plan for the future of having a connection with an ambulance to come out from that side of the property, and they would either turn left to go to Rankin Avenue or right to go to Fredonia, or right to go to Tram Trail to go to a different part of Highway 111 on Cagle. So it would not only cut off Fredonia, but it would also cut off response to Cagle as well, just because it is faster for them to come out, turn right onto Williams, right onto Tram Trail, and then intersect with 111 and avoid all of the traffic and everything else with the Walmart area going that way. So I don't see how in the world they could get away with that. We don't approve of those things. I think property owners have to approve of that. So
The other thing that, where if there is a, new service, a new company, which is a possibility since it's going out for, we need to have a clause in here about transition, how that's done, how long it takes.
let me put that in the needs column. Transition. Good point. All right, so we put that under what we want. So basically, so what I've gotten so far, what I see is, as we've done right, is the community involvement, first responder support with the exchange of gloves and bandages, things like that. They provide EMR training and support, CPR training, other training and support. They're not charging us anything for it. They do support with extra personnel for larger events. Reasonable response meeting their 92% meet or exceed the contract response time of 13 and 20 minutes. The question is, do we want to tighten up those times? Do we think that's reasonable for an ambulance service? And a lot of that has to do with cost balances, because the other side of this, we are paying $262,000 a year. With more money, we could do more stuff. So it becomes a balancing act of what we're willing to pay for versus what we're willing to accept versus times, for the cost value, I guess I would say on that. Any thoughts on that side of it?
Yeah, I got a thought on that side. The tightening them up is not gonna do nothing but hurt everyone because, I mean, you can leave town to go to a call out on Lewis Chapel on Lombardy Road, for instance, and run emergency services or emergency traffic, and it's still gonna take you 10 to 15 minutes to get there.
Right. Okay, so here's what let's see, on the needs improvement rates.
Those times though are set, right? They're
contracted times, 13 and 20
But
minutes.
she's talking about by NFPA standard.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are
So-
federal standards.
Right, there's maybe federal standard. We can put anything in the contract we want. We can do anything we want to in a contract.
But then they'd have to probably locate, there would be additional locations then if you're gonna really tighten them up.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and that's all possible with money.
Right.
I mean, when it comes down to it, we can pay for anything, but how much cost are we willing to bear for the services? It becomes a point of diminishing returns at that point if we start spending money to improve by 30 seconds or 1 minute. What difference is that really going to make in the grand scheme of things? And is it worth $500,000, $750,000, $1 million a year we might have to spend to achieve that? Is it going to make a big difference? So far, it seems like it's pretty well balanced in the county, just in my opinion.
Are we talking to save your life or mine?
You don't want me to answer that question. I'm going to tell you that right now.
I got an AED at home.
You probably don't want to know the answer to that question. We love you anyway, though.
Yeah, God bless.
So I put on here needs improvement, and basically we had one item that was the rates, and maybe we can get some further explanation on the rates, and then what we're looking for, potential of an interlocal agreement if we need one. We're going to check on that, and then a transition clause that would go into an RFP. How would you transition? What kind of time frame would you need to transition? So on and so forth, knowing that the RFPs would be due by then. So what I would like to do, and since we got about 7 minutes or so left in the meeting. What I would like to do going forward is get these information out to you via email. You've provided me a sign-in sheet. I'll get that done in the next couple of days, out to everyone, plus a copy of the notes that I took tonight with this. I want everybody to go back and do homework, read these, think about what we can do. I want to reconvene a special call meeting, and we can either do that in December or looking maybe early January, maybe January 5th or something like that, just as a standalone.
You wanted the RFP to go out in January?
We wanted the RFP to go out in January.
That's what you said.
So Keith, would it be too tight of a timeline? The January meeting is the 4th Monday of January. That's the
3rd.
It's a holiday, so.
Yes,
before-
it's because King Day is on that. So if we did an emergency services meeting January 5th, could you have in 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, all this edited and back out for us to present to a full commission in January for a vote to put this RFP out? Or do we even need a full commission vote to do that? Since it's just a request for proposals.
Yeah, I think this committee can do that.
Okay. So here's what I think we should do is convene a special meeting January 5, and we'll bring all this back together, put all that, make our additions, figure out how we want to do that. Then that gives Keith 2 weeks to get put back to a final RFP, and then we'll vote on that commission meeting day that we'll have a meeting on the 26th of January. And that would mean the request for proposals will go out. We'll put a due date of March 2nd on those. Make sense? Okay.
One more question.
Sure.
If the standard is 13 and 20 minutes, what happens, when does 8% is apparently not a problem, missing that goal by 8% time. What if it were 10% or 12 or 15? When does a failure to meet that standard become critical? And when, if you hit that point, what do you have to do? Do you have to put another station in? Is there a mandatory something that needs to be done if you hit a critical failure rate?
So if we
So I think
average
right-
at 89%, then there's a one that is deducted from the substitute. If it's 89% or lower, or 89 to 80. If it's 75 to 80%, that's 2,500 that is deducted from the substitute.
That's our current.
That's the current contract.
Correct.
We can add or change that, increase it, or put other, we've never had a situation where they fail to meet that. That's a good point.
I'm just thinking, if this is another 7-year period,
Right,
how
well,
much county growth is there going to be? What's the pressure on meeting it with the traffic increases on Rankin, et cetera? They can choose to just pay money as opposed to create a new station.
I believe it'd be like a mutual agreement. If we start having a heavy call volume, I think it's something that ambulance service is going to come to us. We're going to need additional resources.
So we'll come back to the patient.
And y'all done that when you added the supervisor truck anyway.
Correct. Well, and whenever, just a few years ago, our second truck wasn't always 24 hours.
24 hours, it was 16.
So both of our trucks are 24/7, 365 with ALS resources and a supervisor available, and they're all critical care medics.
And so in that instance, did you just come, and was there an increase in the amount that was paid by the county? What,
I don't remember those.
I don't think we didn't increase the last time we had an increase in dollars per year was when we let this contract in 18. So it was 19. So 2019 is the last time we did this. So we had an increase because we asked for more stuff. When that, I remember sitting here on this committee and we asked for more resources to be brought to the county. I think we ended up with one more full-time ambulance and maybe a part-time, an 8-hour or something like that as a result of it.
That's when that-
24.
Yes.
So we ended up with some additional resources because we paid a little more money, and I think we've gotten resources beyond that we haven't paid for. Joe, do you feel like the resources that you have here, I mean, obviously if you've got 92% success rate on this, it seems like the amount of assets that you have here and in the region are covering the need of the county at present.
Absolutely.
Do you foresee the growth in your needing to add more to that, or what's your thoughts on the
Not
growth?
right now, especially with our transport and our request rate. It really, the way it's fluctuated over the years, it hasn't grown much more than 3 to 5%. We would have to have an increase of about 20-25%, in my opinion, before we would need to come back to the table with more resources.
Makes sense to me. All right, so we have our marching orders. I've got 3 items that I'm going to get out to you. An emailed copy, a PDF copy of this RFP draft, the Maury County RFP, and then a copy of the current contract with Puckett. By all means, I'll send everybody out a group email. If you have questions, talk amongst ourselves. With that, the timeline going forward, 5th of January will be the next emergency services meeting. There'll be a special call meeting. We'll do that here at the courthouse, 4 o'clock, agreeable to everybody for all of the meetings.
Not really, yeah.
Not really, but yeah.
Well, that Monday you could do it later if you need it.
Do we need to do it later on that?
No.
Do you want to do a little, can everybody do it a little earlier?
No.
So, well, Brian, you gotta come up with something.
He works during the day.
All right, so 4 p.m. for all meetings. So 5th of January, we're gonna have a special call to emergency services. 26th, and at that meeting, we will mesh everything together, give all of our thoughts to Keith to put that into a final RFP. The 26th that will come, we'll vote on that RFP to issue it out. That will go out, that'll go approximately a month. The proposals are due back in from the ambulance service companies no later than 5 p.m. on 2nd, or 4 p.m. on 2nd of March 2026. And then we will bring that back, those proposals back and select one at the 16th March meeting that will pass. We will make our recommendation at that point to pass it to the full commission. Make sense?
What time are you gonna meet on the 5th?
4 o'clock, all times 4 o'clock. Okay. Any other questions before we adjourn this thing? It is 5 o'clock.
That's good to hear.
Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? Okay.